Yo, what up, guys? Today I'm back with my week 3 RUPL battle versus Tehy. This time they put me in Gen 5 RU. Now, if you've actually been following me for, well, a couple years actually, because Black and White was, wow, a couple years ago. Crazy. Even X and Y was like, what, almost 2 years ago? About 2 years ago? Anyway, I do not like Black and White RU. It's probably because of YouTube that I don't like Black and White RU, because I always had bad experiences whenever I Wi-Fi battled with it. Got pretty wrecked back in the day by people that I may or may not have or should have been able to beat. But Shofu. Nah, I'm just kidding. Wait, didn't I hack some battle? Oh, anyway, back to the match. So yeah, it's actually pretty funny that I'm playing Black and White RU. But this is Black and White 2 RU, which means that a few Pokemon that I hated from Black and White RU aren't in this tier, per se. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a pretty fun game versus Tehy. Pretty fast-paced offensive. We're both using offense. I'm using Lord Jinx, as my opponent has a couple threats of his own. So I decided to lead off with Jinx because I could put something to sleep. Whatever outspeeds me, bar Durant could not Oko me anyway, so I go right for the Lovely Kiss as he ends up bringing out his Entei. Now, I do have Substitute, and I know that Entei runs Choice Banded, Sleep Talk, Extreme Speed, Stone Edge, and Flare Blitz. So I go for Sub just to see if he would reveal these Sleep Talks, since he, definitely should. He went out to Entei voluntarily versus my Jinx. Now, because Sleep Talk is completely random, I can't risk going into Moltres. I can't risk going out into Golurk. I really can't risk switching out to anything. And he probably expected me to switch out to my Kabutops, because as we find out, this Gothorita actually has Energy Balls. So I really don't want to risk switching into anything, and I want to keep my Kabutops for later because it checks Entei, assuming I get a free switch or he doesn't crit me. And I can also spin later on, which is why I didn't want to bring it out. So I go for Sub again, as it was my best play, as he ends up switching out into Gothorita. Now, I am going to set up a nasty plot. I am mono-attacking Ice Beam, so after a few boosts, even if this thing does Combine alongside me, it should be a 2-hit KO depending on rolls, even counting in his Evilite. But it actually turns out I get a low roll right here, but I do get a freeze. Really unfortunate for Tehy, but because this is a competitive game, I'm going to take full advantage and set up another nasty plot. It didn't really matter in the long run, because had he basically, well, actually, if he didn't thaw, I got 2 kills right here. But because he did thaw, I'm going to be forced to go for the Ice Beam right here. It was my best play, taking advantage of the freeze anyway. So he did end up thawing, though, so he was able to break my sub with the Energy Ball. As now Durant's going to come out. This thing is a monster. This thing is Choice Banded. Look how much this Rock Slide. One, he hits a Rock Slide. He hit a Rock Slide with Hustle Durant. And 2, it's a 2 KO on a Scavalier. Scavalier is fat. It is bulky, but I'm going to save my Scavalier so I can switch out into my Golurk, not eat up that Rock Slide. That's still a hell of a lot, as I am going to be able to get up my Stealth Rock, considering I resist and all that, and Golurk is pretty fat as well. It's pretty bulky. I'm going to go for the Dynamic Punch on Judgegond, because of course it does have that confusion rate, and I know that I can 2-hit KO him with Dynamic Punch plus Earthquake anyway, as unfortunately for Tehy, again, I hacks him a little bit, and he hits himself in confusion. Sucker Punch would not have knocked me out, but it would have done a decent amount to my Golurk, definitely to the point where I probably couldn't have switched it out. But I'm going to save my Golurk because it does stop Kabutops from spinning, and it also has a Pashu Berry, so if Kabutops did want to try a Rapid Spin, or and I bring in Golurk and then he went for Aqua Jet after and not Waterfall, I'd basically be able to knock him out. As well as it also stops Rotom-Mow from going for Volt Switch, but unfortunately Rotom-Mow is a pretty big threat to my team, especially because it's Choice Scarf, and my Moltres doesn't Scarf its Life Orb, so I had to force him to go for Leaf Storm. That way I can get the free switch into my Moltres, as now I can go for Roost, expecting him to want to switch out to Kabutops. Now, I wasn't sure if he actually knew what Black and White RU Moltres did, but I am just going to go right for the Power Grasp, because it was my best play. I can knock out Kabutops, as he probably does expect that, so he ends up going for Aqua Jet, putting me in range of Stealth Rock, so I can no longer switch out. I decide to actually sack my Moltres, as Durant does outspeed, and Entei always has Extreme Speed, though it has to Sleep Talk it anyway, but I couldn't switch out due to Stealth Rock anyway. But he ended up going out into his Entei, as that's exactly what I planned, as he was forced into that, and now I get a free kill, because unless he gets like Stone Edge and super crits me, he's not going to be able to knock out my Kabutops. As you see, Flare Blitz does nothing. I even have my weak armor, which means that now Durant cannot come in because I would be able to outspeed. So able to go for Stone Edge, knock out the Entei as Rotom is going to come out. And my entire game plan this game was get rid of Judreigon and hopefully sweep with my Rotom because Revenge kills a hell of a lot of Pokemon on his team. I don't even have to worry about Entei's priority extreme speed because obviously Sleep Talk doesn't care that you have priority and extreme speed. It depends on how fast you are as a Pokemon. So my best plays right here is just going right for Aqua Jet, putting him in range of 2 T-Bolts so he can't risk switching in on my Rotom, and at the same time it also puts him in range of Leaf Storm. So he's able to Volt Switch out into his Durant. We already know it's Choice Banded, so I'm going to be able to go out into my Rotom, and what I can do is just click Volt Switch. He couldn't risk, or he couldn't even go out into his Rotom right there just because after Stealth Rock it would be in range of basically 2 attacks, and if he didn't have HP Fire, it didn't matter anyway, which he does not end up having HP Fire. So he's able to knock out my Escavalier with the Thunderbolt, and at this point I can go right out to my Rotom, and at that range of HP I can just click Leaf Storm and knock him out. So that was a really good game, Tehy. Really close, came down to the wire. Of course, the hacks was definitely in my favor. But I hope you guys all enjoyed. I know it's really late. I'm actually narrating this at 11:18 p.m. on Friday, and it should be up within 30 minutes to half an hour to 30 minutes is the exact same thing. I just said that twice. Yeah, guys, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed. Hopefully I can record some tour games, as I might be joining tour tomorrow, but I don't know, I just haven't been feeling like recording as I play, mainly because I'm using fatter teams when I play. So it's like, maybe I just don't want to narrate me, oh yeah, I'm gonna go for Slack Off, now I'm gonna go for Rest, now I'm gonna go for Taunt, now I'm gonna go for Soft Mode. Like, some of the games have been really straightforward. But in any case, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Stay tuned for streaming because hopefully by Sunday someone's coming over, so hopefully I can fix my computer. And yeah, that's it. Later, guys.